Oh, what a great introduction that is. How good. What a win last year as well. 60 points in the grand final. Whoa. Took us 21 years to get there, but, that was a great feeling. Definitely something that we won't forget. Going to Elim prelim grand final, and also last year's review as well too, and also how last year during the season that didn't give up hope. You'll also see at the end of the video as well too, I got a couple of highlights as well throughout the year with Harris Andrews and at the after party as well too, so keeping for that as well as the club song at the grand final. But this is our Brisbane Lions preview for 2025, and not often we get to preview a Premier's preview because, as I say, I'm a Brisbane fan. It's been 21 years since our last one, and I was back in MySpace and days as well, back in 2003 and all that, when we won the three-peat. All right. So we lose Danaher. Danaher's a big out. Obviously, it could be bit of a big out. However, on the grand final day, we did not have Big O. Also, Lincoln McCarthy was out all year with his ACL, same as Dode. We also lost Coleman, and we also lost Gardner as well too, to ACLs. Also, throughout the year, we had quite a few different injuries from various weeks as well out. Roughly about 10 players out each week as well too, and to come from 13th to make it to the grand final to win was pretty incredible as well too. So they will be returning. Also, we got the likes of Levi Ashcroft, Sam Marshall and Sam Day as well too. And also Gallup has been doing quite well in the last few games in the preseason, and Levi Ashcroft did quite well in the little practice match the other day as well too. So it's good to see a few of the youngsters involved. And of course, last year, when the players were out injured, the younger players joined in and got a lot of experience from Gloman and Kai, of course, Yippee Kai. We also have Morris as well too. So quite a few decent players in there as well too. Now let's have a look at the Brisbane Lions team as well too, and let's have a look, talk a bit about the fantasy as well too. So we got like Dane Zorko. He will be playing down back as well too, so same as before, because I was having a chat with Kitty Coleman, and he said he's going to be out. He's going to be out for probably until round 5. That's what he was telling me when he was here in Perth as well too for the All-Star game. I went to the All-Star 3 again. That was actually pretty decent as well too. So in here in WA. So if you do want to, if you are in over East and do want to come down to WA, watch the Brisbane Lions game, we do our functions as well, WA Brisbane Lions supporters group as well too on Facebook, and we also do a boat cruise as well, which is quite fun as well too, with Des Headland, a few of the past champions of the game as well too. We had Greg Swan on the boat as well last year. Now the additions, so that'll be quite good to have those additions in the team. I also did a little ladder as well too, predictor as well, when I did the season as well. But for my best 23 coming up this year, I put in the fullback, I put Lester, Payne, Starcevic, halfback Coleman, Andrews, Wilmot, centre McCluggage, Dunkley, Berry, Rayner, Morris, Archie in the half forward, full forward Cameron, Hipwood, Lohman, followers Big O, Neil, Ashcroft, and then interchange Zorko, Ashcroft, Fletcher, Fort, and then sub McCarthy, Dodie, Gardner. So probably one of those would be the sub. But there's a few, as I say, Coleman's still going to be out for a few more weeks, and a couple others maybe a little bit out. So there'll be a few swaps and changes as well too. So obviously not everyone can fit in the team, which makes it a good struggle to work on. Normally, we have had players in the past that have left, but at least this time around, we have too many players, which is good in a way. Also, as I say, with the fantasy as well too, Zorko will be down back, so he'll be in Coleman's role as well. And then also when Coleman comes back, I believe he's also going to try and do his role as well too. That way, if someone gets tagged, so if Zorko gets tagged, Coleman can go loose, and if Coleman gets tagged, Zorko can go on the loose, if that makes sense. Dunkley is a great defensive midfielder as well too. That's what Brisbane Lions needed a few years ago when we picked him up, because we were missing a lacking a defensive midfielder, and you saw what he did on the grand final day. He had 12 tackles as well, which was pretty awesome as well too to see. Lachie Neale, he's amazing on 1 foot, still plays quite well in the third quarter again in the grand final. they put the needle in the wrong spot and he could feel it, and it was pretty much one leg, and he still almost got the Norm Smith as well too. McCluggage, it'll be interesting to see how much game time he has with, especially with Levi and also Will in the team. And also a full season of Will Ashcroft would be good as well too, because he did miss half a season of the ACL last year as well too. But Hugh McCluggage, my favourite player as well too. Interesting. I'm not sure. I'll have him in my draft at least. Big O, he'll be back as well too. It'll be interesting to see because, as I say, the 5 players that missed the grand final day, plus a few others that missed as well too. It'll be nice to see the Lions get back there again as well too for them. A bit more about that a bit later. Obviously, Will Ashcroft, he's a gun. Wilmot, Bailey, Rayner, Lester. Lester, I always say he always needs to be in the side. Like that season he had last year, and he's a great team player. He's always gets the 1 year contracts, so on and off each time. Sometimes been a rookie as well too. Harris Andrews, of course, intercept king as well too. He's a great super coach pick as well. So if anyone does super coach as well, they'll love that as well too. So he's probably more of a super coach player than a fantasy player. McKenna did alright. He's normally usually the sub, so Chris Fagan usually has him as a sub normally. Lohman obviously is a great forward. Archie had a great final series last year. Charlie Cameron was a bit quiet this year, but hopefully he'll be pulling out, do quite well. Sam Day, be interesting to see what he does as well. Tall option up forward, and Darcy Fort, he slid into the ruck quite well on grand final day, so he's a great asset. He could have gone to any other club to play games, but he's been a team player and stayed as well too. Jack Payne, he was out injured a bit last year, and he came back, which was good. Ainsworth, Starcevic was injured for a bit last year, but then grand final days intercepting everything as well too. So there was talk about him maybe going to the Eagles later on, but then Oscar Allen may hopefully come to the Brisbane as well too. So maybe could do a swap like that. Dode will be interesting to see how he debuts. At the after party, I had a good old chat with me. He's a great guy and a great team leader. He's been helping out the players off the field as well too. So even though he wasn't playing, he was still helping them out, which was good to see. Then we've also got Gardner, who will come back, Brandon Ryan, Sam Marshall. Brandon Ryan looks like Alex. Shout out to Alex, one of our supporters in WA of our cheer squad. He looks like him. Then we got Gallup, who did alright as well in the forward line, and then a few others as well too. So who do I have? I need to get Coleman out of my fantasy because he won't be playing till round 4, so just take him out as well if you have him in your fantasy. But with the early bye makes it a bit tricky for fantasy players and super coach players from Brisbane. But I would say wait until after the bye because it's a tough start, Sydney and Geelong. So let's get to our preview of the season as well too. So that's a little fantasy and dream team and that. Now, as I say, our fixtures start off pretty hard, Sydney and Geelong. So that could easily be a 1 win, 1 loss, or 2 wins or 0 losses. Usually in the past 10 years, Brisbane never start well. The last time they did start well was in 2010. They got 4 wins and 0 losses in the first month, and then they missed the finals completely for the next 8 years. So usually a typical slow start. Even in earlier last year, at round 13, they were 4-6-1, and they started off 2-5. So goes to show that even in the 3-peat era, they were 2-2 or 2-3 type thing. Now my ladder predictor, Brisbane Lions, I got first, which is a bit of an omen because Lions have never finished first. I kind of rather them finish second or third, or even they finished 5th last year, which is pretty crazy to win every final in a different state. Like after the first final, of course, then they did 3 finals in a row in a different state. So no one's done that before. That was pretty crazy. So I got them first, and I got GWS second with 17 wins, 6 losses, same as Geelong and Sydney. They're in the top 4. So Brisbane, GWS, Geelong, Sydney. Then the rest I have got 5th is Hawthorn, Adelaide, Fremantle, Port Adelaide. Then the bottom at 10 is the rest of the teams. However, I got Brisbane 19-4, but I have a feeling I might have been a little bit biased too much. So I am going to be, I would say, if they win like about 16 or 17, that will be pretty good. Because I'd say about if you win about 17 or 16, you should be top 4. If you win 15 and a half, or 15 or less, then it'll be less than top 4. and then top 8 will probably need at least win about 13 or 14. So as long as you get in between that 13 to 18 game win bracket, that's the main thing. As I say, I don't think we will finish first, but just looking at doing all the tips and that, like somehow it came at Brisbane first. And then then we got to the finals, and it was Brisbane versus Sydney again, but this was the first week of finals. And Hawthorn versus Port, Adelaide versus Freo, GWS versus Geelong. Then Hawthorn defeats Sydney. Well, Brisbane defeats Sydney. Then Hawthorn defeats Sydney. I tipped Geelong defeat Freo. Then I did Brisbane to play Geelong in the third prelim final again. Somehow they're always in prelims lately, and GWS against Hawthorn. Now, I hope GWS do beat Hawthorn, because I have a feeling Brisbane will play better against GWS. But Lions have not beaten Hawthorn for about 6 years now, since 2019. So it's a long time ago, long time. But then again, they haven't played at the Gabba for a long time either. So that is. Yeah, so that's sort of how I look at it. But obviously I'll do another, probably halfway through the year, I'll do one as well too, how well we'll do. I do think that we will go back to back. I know on the boat last year I did say that when we win the grand final, and I did say a few things throughout the year as well. I did predict the fixturing. I also got a video of last year's one as well, which I might even add into this as well too, that shows how Brisbane are going to go, and they end up getting the wins that I said. However, obviously, when I said that between the 3 games to get 1 win, they did. Except it was between Collingwood, GWS, and Sydney. I said they'll win at least one of those, and they did. They beat Sydney, but then they lost to GWS and Collingwood. So I think like my prediction was pretty good. So I'll have put that in there, as well as the club song at the end of the grand final as well, for the Brisbane Lions fans out there. Also got the links as well to Brisbane Lions WA supporters group throughout. Check out Facebook as well too. We'll have some lives as well throughout the season as well, like we did before. Have some past players on there as well, like Anthony Corey had there, React Madness, and a few other past players, and also some fans as well too, if you want to join and have a chat about Brisbane, talk about ins and outs and the week and as well too. And also just in touch with the injuries. I say Coleman will be tracking, he's a bit delayed and come back probably round 5, and there's a few others that are still a bit sore as well, so probably take a couple of weeks. The season starts in about 12 days, 11 days, so I also put down the fantasy codes as well to join. Also, I'll say that out loud now too. So the Fantasy Dream Team Asylum, so if you want to join that, that'll be good. We've got 152 teams in there, but we'll get a few more as well too. You can join in. We've also got a Brisbane Lions one as well set up as well, if anyone wants to do that. It's YMJWN 4 L7. So YMJWN 4L7. So I'll put that link as well too. But looking forward to the season ahead. As I say, a few highlights in the video as well. We'll keep an eye out as well to finish it off. But yeah, share around. Looking forward to another good season. Yeah, it's going to be a good season. Good luck to all the teams out there. It's going to be tough. As we know, it's hard to get to the grand final, let alone win one. So all the best, and yeah, go Lions. Woo. That's a 50-50 game I have there. Collingwood versus Brisbane, also another 50-50 game. And then Essendon at the Gabba. I think we can beat Essendon. Essendon haven't really played all that well for a top 8 side, I feel. Like they sort of could have lost to Eagles twice now this year. They've just got over the line North Melbourne, so they haven't really beaten many teams that much. And plus, when they've only beaten one top 8 side, which is GWS. So yeah, so I reckon GWS Collingwood would probably be our 50-50 games. If we can get a win out of one of those, that would be good. And then Sydney will be the hardest one, so I'll probably lose that one. So looking at maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably about 6 more wins. So 7 plus 6 is 13. We need about 13, I think. And then maybe you count maybe one more of those 3. That'd be 14 wins.
if we do get somehow snag another win, then that'll be 15, and that will be a top 4. I did see some predictions. One guy predicted, I think it was Dwayne Russell or someone like that. I think one of them predicted Brisbane to finish 6th, and another one predicted them to finish 4th. So that's the ladder. So not bad considering a few weeks ago they were 13th. They're slowly making their way up there, which is good to see. And you can also look back on the video the last few weeks, my prediction as well too. When we were 13th, I did mention that we'll be moving up as well too. So you could see, Lion supporters could see that we're moving in the right direction.
Perform well tomorrow, oh, Sunday, are they?
Yeah, so yeah, plenty of news over here about it. With the Eagles side of things, that's for sure. But last time we played, Eagles went on to win the premiership, and then we got the spoon. So hopefully this way will be a reverse. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'll take that absolutely. But we'll just worry about getting the 4 points this weekend. And g'day guys, I'm here with you, man. After we won the premiership, unbelievable.
Where's the medal?
Thank you so much for all your support this year. We were very lucky to head over to Perth twice this year. Hopefully next year we're over there again. Thanks again. Enjoy your time, guys.
How good was that?
Let's go, Lions. Enjoy.
Well done, round back there. Legend, mate.
Brisbane Lions will kick the winning score. You'll hear a mighty roar. We are the final Brisbane down the Rebel Road.
What a win. Hello, WA.